In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my views on anxiety as energy sensitivity. Hi, I'm Fola Veritas, and if you're new here, I'm so glad you could join in. And welcome back to those who are already familiar, because today we are going to be really diving into a wonderful topic that I love to see start to really merge the mental health and the spiritual aspects. So let's dive in. Anxiety is a pretty common topic. It seems like it's almost like the new black. You know, I'm anxious here, I'm feeling this little panic attack, pop this Ativan. Obviously that's not everyone's experience, but it tends to be this kind of victim mentality still at play within humanity. And it really shows up in the fact that a lot of people are stuck in this like script of anxiety. And I know because I myself have been in this place and still try to catch myself from falling back into those patterns. In 2013, the Canadian government had kind of gathered some information that showed that about 11.6% of Canadians experience some type of mood and or anxiety disorder. So that's a pretty decent amount considering. And an interesting fact too was that most of those people weren't even taking any medications or seeking any type of support. And having worked in mental health for almost 10 years, I've seen so many people suffering with these different anxiety disorders. I'm not gonna get into too much of the science about that. If you are interested, I have an upcoming webinar where I'll be going into more details on this topic. But for now, I really just wanted to give a short sort of introduction to some of this. If you're not already aware, anxiety can impact people in so many different ways. We have social anxiety disorder, PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, agoraphobia, and the list goes on. And obviously it's not like someone can be stuck in just one, right? It's kind of like there's this interesting spectrum or like diagram, I guess. I'm sure they figured that out somewhere. But for myself, I know I've experienced anxiety in quite a few different ways. When I was younger, I used to have really bad social anxiety. Never diagnosed, but I know there were times I tried to do things so that I could completely avoid any social interactions. Some not so great things that probably were kind of harmful to me, but it helped and I got out of the situation so I didn't have to interact with others. And when I think back to it, I don't really know why I was so anxious, but now I'm starting to get it was probably just my energy sensitivity. I also used to have some pretty bad panic attacks, and I think that was a combination of some traumas and kind of these flashbacks I was having to having been to a house party and someone almost dying many years back, and also just the stress of life and relationship issues. It started to elicit these like huge panic attacks that I had to go on medication for. And then it was when I had my spiritual emergence, I started to experience what I would describe as like agoraphobic sort of anxiety. I would wake up and I would just look outside and I could see the whole sky and like the cityscape basically, and I would just feel so overwhelmed and like it was as if this impending doom feeling was coming on. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. And that is what I would describe as like agoraphobia. Agoraphobia meaning people are afraid of open or crowded places. So they tend to stay inside. You can see how that would be really limiting and kind of isolating after a long time of feeling that type of anxiety or that stress. So one thing I'm just gonna point out here is this interesting study that they did looking at the body and where energy is being held in the body. And when I say energy, I mean like heat or different sensations or amounts of like chemicals and all this, because everything is energy. If you haven't seen my other videos about that, you can go back and watch them, but everything is energy, from the plant to the fire. Like everything has a different composition of molecules, and the density can vary obviously to like the air, right? But it's really about that density, and all those molecules are vibrating at really fast or really slow sort of vibrations. And the slower it vibrates, then the more dense the object is, the more tangible and the more we can hold it in a physical reality. But when we look at the study that they've done where they looked at anxiety in the body, it's very similar to the same energy or the signature in the body of excitement. And this has been my journey, is learning how my anxiety was actually energy sensitivity. And whether you want to talk about empaths or intuitives or highly sensitive people, there is a correlation. And this, after having worked in mental health for quite a while and being part of a lot of spiritual groups, I've noticed the similarities. And I really feel like there needs to be a switch in language. I think it needs to come down to, as well, the mindset shift of our society, because we see anxiety in that as like this not good thing. It's like, same with mental health, we like stigmatize against it. But I'm really here to be like, what if it's not that way? What if it's actually a gift? And that's what my webinar is going to talk about coming up. I really want to get more into detail about bridging both the spiritual and the scientific. And let's see how we can start to shift people into more empowerment. This was just kind of an intro to some of that. I would really encourage you to ask yourself, if you are someone who experiences anxiety, how is it that maybe it's a little bit of an excitement? You know, right now, especially with the energies that we're going through with the full moon, the Sirius portal, I can feel internally, and like my body, my mind, everything is at this certain like vibratory state right now. It can be really overwhelming. And I even woke up this morning feeling like so anxious. Like that's the first thought that comes to me, like, this is like anxiety. But I'm really trying to reframe and like, okay, my body is communicating something to me here. And I have these 3 A's I want to share with you. First is to acknowledge, right? We have to acknowledge that how we are feeling, what we are feeling, that it's there. It's something, right? It is what it is. That's all I can say. There's no need to like push against it, because the more we push, law of attraction, the more we're going to get that opposition, right? Next is the attend. So it's about us attending to what we're feeling. Be present for it. Listen to it. The body, it's trying to communicate something. What is it saying to you? I really have to sit here and just feel into like all the sensations, even though it's a little uncomfortable at times, and sometimes a lot uncomfortable. It's really important that you just attend and be aware fully and embrace that, and then do the work around what needs to happen. Whether that's mindfulness, meditation, journaling, something that really can be helpful to bring the body into a different vibratory state and thus kind of expel some of that energy, are different exercises. So there's so much that you can do. Find something that works for you. And then accept fully where you are, and accept that this is kind of what you've been given as a gift. Is it fair for me to say that? I think this is like a huge part of us shifting, is being aware that this is a gift. There's something beautiful about this, and there's an opportunity to be had. What is it that you're willing to take, and how are you willing to accept it? I hope that resonates with you. I want to just pull a card as we end. Just a card you can take with you during your week. This one. Light. These are the Heart Quest deck cards again. And I just love that. Look at that, like, so simple. It's literally just this like center point. You are the light, you guys. The light of the world, the light of yourself, like, not to cause any more stress if you're already feeling a little overwhelmed, but there's a reason why you're feeling what you're feeling, to transmute that into something beautiful and brilliant. And I would really encourage you to continue to tap into that. And if you're not sure how, obviously reach out. We've got the community here on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook. I love talking about this. It's really about us transforming and alchemizing so that we can be more fully in our personal power and know that we are all light, even when there's shadow, because it all comes from somewhere. So I hope that resonates. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye.